What is up, everybody? Coach Juma here, and today we're going to be going through one of the stumbled early.
You're going to be one of the most annoying people on the planet. You just like insult yourself for no reason.
Yeah, it's just a whole roast.
Yeah, it's just a roast on yourself. You're going to be the worst YouTube channel.
I'm going to waste your time for the next 10 minutes. What is up, everybody? Coach Juma here, and today we're going to be breaking down everything about protein that is going to be relevant to you. So if you've been starting on a diet, if you've been following social media, you've probably heard that you need to have protein intake for your goals, but no one tells you why. They just tell you have to have it and how much to have. So we're going to be talking about what protein is, how much of it you should have, when you should take it, why it's so important for a fat loss and a muscle building journey. And we're going to be sharing all the grocery hacks you need to find high protein foods and how to include it more easily throughout your day. So what is protein? Protein is one of the essential macronutrients, meaning our body doesn't produce enough of it, and it's essential for us to get it from our diet. Protein is a collection of amino acids that is the building block for creating and maintaining all kinds of tissue within your body, including your organs, your skin, your hair, your muscles, your nails. All of those need protein in order to function properly or look its best if we're talking about hair, skin, and nails. Not only that, it's also essential for your metabolism and hormone production as well. So it's going to keep you feeling great, feeling happy, and feeling healthy. And getting in enough protein can be the difference between a healthy, strong, muscular body that has strong bones, good skin, good hair, and a strong immune system, and the opposite, right? So whether or not you are even pursuing a fat loss goal or a muscle building goal or a physique goal, protein is going to be important for you to have. So now we know that protein is essential for your proper health and movement throughout the day, but how is it going to be more helpful for you for fat loss? Well, it has a lot of extra benefits specifically for fat loss that make it the most important nutrient that you need to include while dieting. For one, if you're on a weight loss journey, really you're trying to get on a fat loss journey, which means all the weight you're trying to lose is from fat weight and not muscle weight. So protein helps us make sure that we're maintaining muscle weight the entire time. And this is important because if you're not getting enough protein, you're gonna be losing muscle and fat, which is never what anyone wants when they're going on a weight loss journey. So protein is essential for maintaining a strong, lean, and toned physique. Protein is also one of the most satiating nutrients that you can consume, meaning that having more protein will help you feel fuller for longer, which, as you can guess, if you're on a diet and you're gonna be eating fewer calories, is gonna be pretty helpful. It's gonna keep the appetite at bay, it's gonna keep cravings away, and help you adhere to your diet much more effectively. And lastly, one of the most important benefits in protein during a fat loss phase is the increase in metabolism. This is because what's known as the thermic effect of food. And that's kind of a fancy way of saying the energy it takes to digest protein. Protein is kind of hard to break down in the digestive tract. And as a result of that, it takes more calories to break down protein through digestion. So if you have 200 calories of protein versus 200 calories of carbs or fat, you're gonna burn more calories just digesting that protein. I could not tell you the number of times I worked with clients and they struggle with cravings, they struggle with appetite. All of these reasons are why when I'm working with a client, the first thing we usually do is increase protein intake because most people are deficient in protein. So now we know what protein is and why it's really important, especially for fat loss. How much of it should you aim to have? There's a lot of differing opinions when it comes to this. And a lot of people usually think that if you're building muscle, you need to have more protein, but really it's the opposite. You need to have more protein when you're in a fat loss phase than when you're in a muscle building phase. The reason being, once again, all the stuff we listed earlier, we wanna make sure that we're maintaining muscle. We wanna make sure that we're burning extra calories through digestion. We wanna make sure that we're staying satiated and hungry and full of energy while we're dieting. So as a result, we need to increase our protein intake when we're in a fat loss phase. If we're in a maintenance phase or if we are in a muscle building phase, we can reduce that protein amount. The general recommendation you probably hear really often is 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. But really, that's way more than you need. You shouldn't be basing your protein goal on your current body weight. You should be basing your protein goal on your goal body weight. If you currently weigh 200 pounds and your goal body weight is 150 pounds, your ideal protein intake throughout the diet phase is going to be around 150 to 180 grams of protein per day. So 1 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of goal body weight. If you're in a muscle building or a maintenance phase, you're gonna be on the lower end of that, which is gonna be 0.8 to 1.0. That's gonna be between 120 grams to 150 grams per day. You can use this equation for whatever your goal weight is, but regardless, that's going to be your bare minimum amount of protein you need to get. When should you be eating protein? The short answer is kind of whenever you can. So ideally, the most important thing is getting in your goal protein intake throughout the day. Whether you get that in one meal or 2 meals or 5 meals, doesn't matter. As long as you hit your protein goal for that day, that's the most important thing. So using the example from earlier, if you're in a fat loss phase, your goal weight's 150 pounds, you want to be between 150 to 180 grams of protein every single day. Now, if you want to optimize protein and get a little extra benefit for how you spread out your meals throughout the day, aiming to get at least 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal every 3 to 4 hours is going to be great for optimizing muscle protein synthesis, which is the process of converting protein into muscle within your body. If you want to maximize muscle protein synthesis, if you're in a building phase, this is especially effective. You want to make sure that you're spreading out your protein evenly throughout the day and making sure each feeding is 25 to 30 grams. That can be a lot to take in and it can be really complicated for a lot of people. But again, that's just taking it to the next level. The most important thing is hitting your protein goal by the end of the day. So making sure you hit that mark. So now how can you get and where can you find good high protein foods to include in your day? Luckily, modern food companies know that the average person is looking for protein. They understand the importance of protein in this health conscious world. And there's so many high protein food options on the market. But the best ones are always going to be the most simple ones to go to, which is going to be meat, seafood, poultry, and dairy products a majority of the time. These are going to be foods that have a majority of their calories come from protein. Now, as I said, there's going to be a lot of food companies that know the importance of protein and are marketing to people that want to get more protein, but they do it kind of deceptively. They try to put high protein, good source of protein on their boxes to try to make it easier for you to find high protein foods, but a lot of times they're bad protein sources. When you look for a protein source, you don't want it to take up so many calories. You want it to be as lean as possible so that you have room for other foods that you want to enjoy and incorporate while dieting. So knowing what to look for at the grocery store is going to be incredibly important so that you're not falling for these cheap marketing tricks. There's 2 main hacks that I like to use that you can do with any food just by looking at the label. The first one is comparing the protein to fat ratio. So you might have heard that peanut butter is a good source of protein, when in reality, it's a fat source that has some protein with it. If you wanted to get 25 grams of protein from peanut butter, you'd also be getting another 500 calories from fat. Because again, even though it has protein, it's not good for you to have as your main protein source. It's going to take up way too many calories. If your entire day of 100 grams of protein came from just peanut butter, that would be 2,500 calories just from peanut butter to get 100 grams of protein. Obviously not efficient and not sustainable. Whereas if you got it from chicken breast, for instance, you could get 25 grams of protein with no fat included, and it would only be around 100 to 120 calories. So you want to be efficient with the type of protein that you use. The first trick is to look at if this has a lot of fat in it relative to protein. And the best way to figure out if it's going to be a good protein source versus a good fat source is if each serving has double the grams of protein as fat. If something is marketed as a good protein source and it has 5 grams of fat, you want to make sure that it has at least 10 grams of protein per serving. On the other end of the spectrum is high protein foods that are also high calorie foods. And this is most common with protein bars, protein cookies, protein treats, and things like that. They'll throw in a bunch of other things to make it taste great and be as healthy as possible, but it adds on hundreds of calories as well. I've seen protein bars that have 10 grams of protein and are 300 calories, which is absolutely ridiculous. You'll have a really hard time getting enough protein in your day and sticking to your calorie count as well. So the simple solution here is looking to have around 10 grams of protein for every 100 calories. This will ensure that you're getting an adequate amount of protein without going too overboard on your calories. And now the easiest and most effective way to get in more protein without adding a lot of stress to your life is by getting a free copy of the Stupid Simple Cookbook through the link in the description. 30 plus easy to make high protein recipes that are perfect for fat loss and boosting your metabolism. If you've never gotten it yet, get your free copy through the link in the description. That's everything you need to know about protein. So thank you guys for tuning into this video. If you found it helpful, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be dropping content, ideally once a week. Some weeks we might not get it, but we're aiming for once a week.
We're posting shorts every single day.
We're posting shorts for sure every week.
Yeah. Every day.
Multiple times a week. Yeah. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and get a copy of the Stupid Simple Cookbook so you can make your fat loss process easier than it's ever been before. And until next video, stay stupid.